Adamma looked at the fabrics and smiled, but when she looked at the Obinna, her smile faded. Obinna, your gifts are beautiful, but you are too short for me. How can I marry a man who will make me look down on him every day? No, I cannot marry you. Many years ago, in a small village called Umuleri, there lived a young girl named Adamma. Adamma lived with her parents, who loved her very much because she was their only child. They spoiled her. They gave her everything she wanted and treated her like a queen. Adamma was the most beautiful girl in the entire village. Her skin was smooth and dark, and her eyes were bright as the morning sun. People would stop and stare whenever she walked by, admiring her beauty. Because of her beauty, many young men from Umuleri and even from other villages wanted to marry her. They came with gifts and asked her parents for her hand in marriage. The suitors brought yams, goats, and even expensive clothes, hoping to win Adamma's heart. But Adamma was not impressed by any of them. Despite her beauty, Adamma was very proud and rude girl. She believed that she was better than every other one else. Whenever a suitor came to her house, Adamma would barely look at him. She would say, "Is this the best you can offer? I deserve better. I will not marry a man who cannot give me the finest things in life." One day, a young man named Chidi came to ask for Adamma's hand in marriage. He was not very rich, but he was hardworking and kind. He brought some yams and a small piece of cloth as gift. When Chidi arrived at Adamma's house, her parents welcomed him warmly. They knew he was a good man. But when Adamma saw the gift he brought, she laughed out loud. "Is this all you have to offer?" she asked rudely. "These yams are too small, and this cloth is not even pretty. You think I will marry you with these cheap gifts?" Chidi felt embarrassed, but he tried to speak kindly to Adamma. "I may not have much now, Adamma, but I will work hard to make you happy. I promise to love you and take care of you." But Adamma just rolled her eyes. "I am too pretty to suffer with a poor man like you. I deserve the richest and the most handsome man in the world. Now, leave my house." Chidi left quietly, his heart heavy with sadness. Adamma's parents watched him go and sighed. They were worried about their daughter. They loved her very much, but they knew her pride was too great. Adamma had a friend named Nneka. Nneka was very different from Adamma. She was not beautiful, but she was kind and respectful. Nneka always greeted people with a smile and helped her parents with their work. Everyone in the village liked her. One afternoon, Nneka came to visit Adamma. They sat under a big mango tree in Adamma's compound, enjoying the shade. "Adamma," Nneka began, "why do you keep rejecting all the suitors who came to you? Some of them are good men who could make you happy." Adamma shrugged. "They are not good enough for me, Nneka. Look at me. I am too beautiful to marry a poor man. I deserve the best. But Adamma, Nneka said gently, it's not all about money or looks. What about love and kindness? A man who truly loves you, who can take care of you and make you happy. Love and kindness. Adamma scoffed. Those won't buy me fine clothes or give me a big house. I want a man who can give me everything I desire. Nneka sighed. She loved Adamma like a sister, but she was worried about her character. Adamma, your parents are concerned about you. They always ask me to talk to you about how you treat your suitors. They want you to be happy, but they are afraid your pride will drive everyone away. Adamma thought for a moment. She knew her parents only wanted the best for her, but she was still sure that she deserved more. I know they mean well, Nneka, but I also know what I want. I won't settle for less. Nneka shook her head, but didn't argue further. She knew that only time would teach Adamma lesson she needed to learn. Just think about it, Adamma, she said softly. Sometimes the best things in life are not the ones we can see with our eyes, but the ones we feel with our hearts. As the sun began to set, casting a long shadow over the village, the two friends sat quietly, each lost in thought. Nneka wished for her friend to find happiness, while Adamma dreamed of the day when the richest man and the most handsome man would come and sweep her off her feet. Among her many suitors were two men who were known in the village. The first one was Obinna, the richest fabric seller in Umuleri. Obinna's shop was filled with the finest clothes, and everyone in the village bought their fabric from him. He was generous and kind, always helping those in need. But despite his wealth, there was one thing about Obinna that Adamma could not stand. He was short. One day, Obinna gathered his courage and went to Adamma's house with gifts of the most beautiful fabrics he had. He brought enough clothes to make several dresses, each more stunning than the last. Adamma, Obinna said, bowing his head slightly, I have come to ask for your hand in marriage. I may not be tall, but I will make you the happiest woman in the village. You will wear the finest clothes, and everyone will envy you. Adamma looked at the fabrics and smiled, but when she looked at the Obinna, her smile faded. Obinna, your gifts are beautiful, but you are too short for me. How can I marry a man who will make me look down on him every day? No, I cannot marry you. Obinna left, his heart heavy with disappointment. He had hoped that his wealth and generosity would win Adamma's heart, but her pride was too great. The second suitor was Ikenna, the owner of the biggest palm oil production in the village. Ikenna was tall and strong, known for his hard work and dedication. His palm oil business was the largest in the entire village, and many people respected him. But there was one thing about Ikenna that Adamma did not like. She thought he was ugly. One sunny afternoon, Ikenna arrived at Adamma's house with several jugs of his finest palm oil, along with other gifts. He was confident that his success would impress Adamma. Adamma, Ikenna began, his voice deep and steady. I have come to ask for your hand in marriage. With me, you will never lack anything. My palm oil business is thriving, and I will provide you with everything you need. Adamma looked at Ikenna and frowned. Ikenna, you are a good man, but you are not handsome enough for me. How can I marry someone who is not pleasing to my eyes? No, I cannot marry you. Ikenna left, disappointed but determined to find someone who would appreciate him for whom he was. Adamma's parents were growing more and more concerned. They saw how their daughter rejected one good suitor after another, all because of her high standard. They tried to talk to her, but Adamma would not listen. I will not marry a man from this village or any nearby village, Adamma declared one day. I want a foreign man. He must be rich, handsome, and he must take me to Obodo Igbo, a foreign country where I can live like a queen. Only then I will marry. Her parents exchanged worried glances, unsure of what to do. They loved their daughter, but they feared that her pride and unrealistic dreams would lead her to a lonely life. One day, after spending hours making her hair, Adamma heard her parents calling her. Adamma, come and meet your suitor, they said. She rolled her eyes and murmured, I don't have time for ugly men. But when she walked into the sitting room, she stopped in her tracks. There stood a man, tall and handsome, dressed in a fine cloth that shimmered in the light. His smile was charming, and his presence filled the room. For once, Adamma was speechless. She couldn't believe her eyes. Could this be the man she had been dreaming of? He was the most handsome man she had ever seen. His presence commanded attention, and his attire spoke of class, royalty, and most importantly, wealth. His clothes were made of the finest materials, and they shimmered under the light. But what truly caught Adamma's attention were his eye grey, mysterious and unlike anything she had ever seen before. Those eyes were a mark of a foreigner, and Adamma's heart raced with excitement. The man smiled warmly at Adamma, and she felt her cheeks flush. Good evening, Adamma, he said in a deep, smooth voice. My name is Mr. Carlo, but my friends call me Cow Money. It's my pleasure to meet you. Adamma was so taken aback by his appearance and voice that she could hardly find her words. Good evening, Mr. Carlo, she finally managed to say, her voice trembling slightly. Cow Money chuckled softly, sensing her nervousness. There is no need to be shy, Adamma. I came here today because I wanted to meet the most beautiful girl who had captured my heart. Adamma's eyes widened in surprise. You came here for me? Cow Money nodded. Yes, I did. You see, my father is from Umunani village, and my mother is a foreigner. She is waiting for me overseas, expecting me to join her soon. But she had one request. She wants me to bring my wife with me when I return. I didn't come here today with the intention of proposing, but when I saw you today on my way to the market, I knew I had to meet you." Adamma's heart was pounding in her chest. This was exactly what she had dreamed of. A handsome, wealthy man who could take her to Obodo Oyibo, the foreign land she had always longed for. Cow Money continued, "I know this may come as a surprise to you, and I apologize for not being more prepared. But if you agree, I will come back tomorrow and pay your bride price. After that, we can leave together for Lagos, where we will prepare for our journey to Obodo Oyibo. However, if I leave tomorrow without you, it could take me months to return back to Umuleri. I don't want to miss this opportunity to be with you." Adamma's mind was spinning. This was everything she had ever wanted. A chance to leave this village and live a life of luxury in a foreign land. But she knew she had to think carefully. This decision would change her life forever. She looked at Cow Money, her heart filled with hope and excitement. "Mr. Carlo," she began, trying to keep her voice steady, "I have dreamed of marrying a man like you, someone who can take me to Obodo Oyibo and give me the life I deserve. But this is all so sudden. How do I know that you will keep to your promises?" Cow Money stepped closer to her, his grey eyes shining with sincerity. "Adamma, I understand your concerns. I want you to know that I am a man of my word. If you choose to be my wife, I will make sure that you are treated like a queen you are. We will build a life together that will be envy of anyone who knows us. I promise you, Adamma, you will never regret this decision." Adamma felt a surge of excitement. This was the moment she had been waiting for. She had rejected so many suitors, believing that perfect man would come one day for her. And now, here he was, standing in front of her. Adamma was already in love. Carlo was everything she had ever dreamed of, and she couldn't wait to become his wife. She said yes immediately, without hesitation. But her parents were worried. They had never heard of Umunani village, where Carlo's father was from, and they insisted that they needed to make inquiries first. "Adamma, we cannot let you marry a man whose background we do not know," her father said sternly. "We need to make sure he is who he says he is. We must ask about his family and their reputation." But Adamma would not listen. "Father, I love Carlo. If you do not let me marry him and he leaves, I will never forgive you. If he never comes back, I will have no reason to live. I would rather die than to live without him." Her parents were shocked by her words. They loved their daughter deeply and did not want to see her unhappy. Her mother's eyes filled with tears as she looked at her husband. "What should we do? She is our only child. We cannot let her suffer." Adamma's father sighed deeply. He could see the determination in her daughter's eyes. He knew that if he refused, it would break her heart very well. "Adamma," he said reluctantly, "we will give you our blessing, but you must promise us that you will be careful and stay in touch. We love you and we want to make sure you are safe." "I promise, Father," Adamma said, her eyes shining with happiness. "Kalu will take care of me, and I will come back soon to take you and Mama to Lagos before we leave for Obodoyibo." The next day, Kalu returned as he had promised, with his uncle and a close friend to witness the marriage ceremony. Adamma's parents, though still worried, prepared the traditional rites with heavy heart. They could not stop their daughter from leaving, but they prayed that she had made the right choice. As the ceremony took place, Adamma was filled with joy, as she was finally going to live the life she had always dreamed of. She barely noticed the tears in her mother's eyes or the sadness in her father's voice as he gave her hand to Kalu. "Take care of our daughter," her father said to Kalu, his voice trembling. "She is precious to us." "I will, sir," Kalu replied confidently. "I promise that Adamma will be treated like a queen she is. You have my word." With that, the ceremony was completed and Adamma became Mrs. Kalu. The next morning, she packed her things and prepared to leave the village with her new husband. Her parents stood by the door, their eyes filled with tears. "Remember your promise, Adamma," her mother whispered, holding her daughter's hand tightly. "Come back to us soon." "I will, mother," Adamma said, hugging her tightly. "I will send for you as soon as we settle in Lagos." With almost tearful prayers and many goodbyes, Adamma's parents finally let her go. As Kalu led his new bride away, her parents watched them leave, praying that they would see their daughter again soon, and that she would find the happiness in the life she had chosen. As Adamma and Kalu made their way out of the village, Adamma asked him to stop by Nneka's house. She wanted to say goodbye to her friend before leaving Umuleri. When they arrived, Nneka was surprised to see Adamma with a man she had never met before. "Adamma, is this the man you are living with?" Nneka asked, her voice filled with concern. "Yes, Nneka," Adamma replied, smiling brightly. "This is Kalu, my husband. We got married yesterday." Nneka tried to hide her worry, but it was hard. She had a bad feelings about Adamma's quick decision to marry a man she hardly knew. But the last time she tried to advise Adamma, it didn't go well. "Adamma, are you sure this is what you want?" Nneka asked gently. "You have only just met him. Maybe you should have waited a little longer." Adamma's smile faded and her eyes narrowed. "Nneka, why must you always doubt me? Are you jealous because I'm going to Obodoyibo?" and you are still here in the village. You have to stop thinking so small. Kalu is everything I have ever wanted, and I am happy. You should be happy for me too. Nneka sighed and decided not to argue. I am sorry, Adamma. I didn't mean to upset you. I am happy for you, really. Good, Adamma said, her smile returning, because I don't need any negativity right now. Nneka forced a smile, trying to push aside her worries. Well, I have some news too, she said, changing the subject. Ikenna, the richest fabric seller in the village, proposed to me. Adamma's eyes widened in surprise. Ikenna, the same Ikenna I turned down. Well, it looks like he finally settled for you. Nneka nodded. Yes, he did. He is a good man, and I'm considering his proposal. Adamma laughed lightly. You should marry him, Nneka. After all, who else will come for you? You are not exactly overflowing with options. Nneka's heart sank a little at Adamma's words, but she kept smiling. Thank you for the advice, Adamma. I will think about it. Adamma hugged her friend and said, Don't think too long, Nneka. You are not getting any younger. As they pulled apart, Adamma looked into Nneka's eyes. Take care of yourself, Nneka. I will keep in touch. And who knows, maybe one day I will send for you to come visit me in Lagos or even Obodo Oyibo. Nneka nodded, still feeling uneasy, but knowing there was nothing more she could say. Safe journey, Adamma. I will be praying for you. With one last wave, Adamma climbed back into the car with Carlo, and they drove away, leaving Nneka standing by the roadside, watching them go. Nneka couldn't shake the feelings that something wasn't right, but she pushed the thought aside. All she could do now was hope that her friend had made the right choice. As the dust from the car's tire settled, Nneka sighed and turned back to her house. She had her own decision to make about Ikenna, and she hoped that, unlike Adamma, she would make the right one.